It is time for your favorite program of the day. That's Litter Media Live with the icon, Mike Smith, back in studio with us. I'm Dan Ramey, and off to our immediate left is Mr. Hand 2. There he is, giving you the old wave. And Mike gives you the salute. It's not the Fickle Finger of Fate Award. No. Nothing like that. Back in the old Rowan and Martin days, there's a number of people that are like, who the heck is he talking about? Have to go back to the 1960s, early 70s for that. All right, coming up shortly, we'll take a look at news, which takes us back to today and yesterday, not so much back in the 1970s. But we have a lot of things to share with you this morning, and we'll get right to that momentarily. But first, let's look at this fantastic weather forecast.
Yeah, nice day. Actually, the next 2 or 3, mostly cloudy today with a high close to 70, sunshine for Wednesday and Thursday, 76 and 78 respectively, and then a chance of rain coming back into the picture on Friday and Saturday.
And I think that 10-day forecast shows that we might see more opportunities for rain down the road. So enjoy these next couple of days here, and that includes today. All right, coming up in a moment, so look at news, weather, sports. I'm used to saying news, weather, and sports. For how many years do we do that on the radio? For news and sports, as well as this date in history, all just ahead. But first, let's tell you about Haynes Total Health Care Center. Chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs, they handle all that and more. If you want to learn more about them, simply click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it takes you to their website, which is hayneshealth.com. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe, has their spring sales event continuing. But this isn't going to last long, so you better hurry up and get in today. They have new riding tractors starting at $1699.99, new zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99, new walk-behinds starting at $399.99, also new chainsaws at $279.99, new blowers starting at $199.99, new trimmers starting at $229.99. Hurry in. Best selection is going out the door. Mm-hmm. Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the outdoors. Go to our website, littermedia.com, and you'll be able to find some of the stories we're going to be sharing with you today. All of our social media contact information is in the upper right-hand corner of littermedia.com. You can find all of our platforms right there at your fingertips at the click of a mouse. Yesterday marked the 20th anniversary of the killing of Chillicothe police officer Larry Cox, who, while off duty, aided the pursuit of a robbery suspect. Each year since, law enforcement and community members have paid tribute to the beloved officer's memory. And the same was done yesterday.
As I was coming down here to get Tara, I get another phone call. They said, we need for you to get down here and get down here now. They said we had an officer got shot. That night was one of the worst nights I had. It's been 20 years ago, and it still bothers me. I read the report that I took and everybody took during that time to make sure we did everything right. We did everything right.
Larry's done amazing things for this community, and sadly it would be costing loss of life. But you know, we're here today to honor him, a great man, a great family.
If you knew you had less than 24 hours to live, would you do anything different? We come together every year not to grieve, but to carry on his memory and to carry on his legacy. And you know, Jeremiah 29.
Larry Cox, of course, taken from us way too early, April 21st of 2005. And his memory still stands today with the Dare car. You can still find this portrait hanging up in the Ross County YMCA as well. And forever in our hearts. Super, super individual. If you ever see these badges around town on stickers on cars, those things came out after his passing. And so we remember again Larry Cox. I was telling a couple of stories on my Facebook page earlier today about when he came to the radio station. There was a national spokesperson for the DARE program. I can't remember his name. It was like Johnny Flame or something like that.
Yeah.
And did he stop up to the radio station at the Hill? Okay. Well, you and I were not together at that time because the radio stations had made a sale and WBEX was downtown. And so he came in, and Larry looked like a kid who had the keys to a toy store on Christmas Day. He had a smile on his face the whole time. And there was another moment where in the late 1990s, we used to do the Cavalier football program at Julio's Pizzeria inside Shawnee Lanes. And so here I am sitting at the traffic light at High in Carlisle right there. And Larry was gassing up his car across the way at the gas station. And as I was turning left, I'm like honking the horn and kind of giving a big wave and everything. And there was a parked car sitting in front of me when I turned back to look up the street. And it was an old Ford Torino, which had a kind of a pointy side on its bumper. That thing put a crease down the right side of the van. I pulled over there at High Street, and here comes Larry with that patented smile on his face. So what happened, Dan? I gave you a wave, mister. So he was fantastic with the kids, fantastic with adults, and he was what you expect out of an officer. So remembering you, Larry Cox.
The 64th tour of the Scioto River Valley bicycle touring event will be offering a different route for this year. The May 16th through 18th TASERV will be based out of Yaktangi Park in Chillicothe in a festival format. There will be 2 days of cycling loops with multiple distance and difficulty options to meet any cyclist's spring training needs. This will also include the most popular segment of past TASERVs, which is 3 Locks Road to Waverly. It'll also enable exploration of the best cycling-friendly roads and trails that surround Chillicothe on the Pink Creek Trail to Washington Courthouse, along with other routes between Chillicothe and Circleville.
Looks like
something new.
Looks like you can still kind of take the old route as well. As a kid growing up along Route 104 up in Pickaway County, I could just see this every year on Mother's Day weekend, and here they came.
But it's not going to be Columbus to Portsmouth. It's Chillicothe and back.
Exactly. So that's going to be a lot different than what it has been.
Not that somebody couldn't take their own.
Sure.
I'm going to do it my way.
The one cyclist that always intrigued me was, remember those really large wheeled bicycles from the 1800s? Yeah. This guy would ride that thing to Portsmouth. Wow. And I thought to myself, how difficult that had to be. But when you think about it, once you get that big wheel going, it was probably the easiest ride there was, as long as you didn't lean too far in a curve. That could have been problematic, I'm sure. The Ross County Commissioners have announced that they will be commencing a significant runway rehabilitation and construction of 2 blast pads at Ross County's Shoemaker Airport. Runway 523 will be shut down to all air traffic beginning May 4th. And this will take you right into July, approximately July 7th, as long as the weather cooperates, of course. Once construction begins, aircraft will not be permitted to take off or land at the Ross County Shoemaker Airport. Hangar lessees, you shall not be obligated to pay rent during the time the airport's runway is out of service for construction. And that's difficult if you like to fly. So they may find a place to put their plane and hopefully not like that fellow that was flying from, where was it, Florida or wherever, and landed in that field up in the Columbus area. Did you see how they got the plane out of there? The farmer who owned the field, he created a runway for it to take off. So the guy simply ran out of gas. No crash, and he found a safe landing spot.
Yes, sir. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine yesterday was in Dublin, Ohio, for Hopewell Elementary School to lay out plans for the statewide expansion of mobile response and stabilization services. The MRSS is a service that provides immediate help for children and young adults 20 and under who are experiencing overwhelming mental, emotional, or behavioral stress. In fact, the way this is set up, the mobile unit is designed to try to send a professional to respond to a person in need within 60 minutes, whether it's the young person's home, school, or any other location, to de-escalate the crisis and provide ongoing support.
Very cool. Also, the Waverly High School Jazz Band is going to be performing in a concert coming up this Friday evening at 7:30 p.m. This will take place at the Bristol Village Activity Center, Glen Auditorium. You'll enjoy jazz standards such as Misty, Route 66, and My Funny Valentine, as well as old favorites like Old Time Rock and Roll. And you know everybody's going to sing on Sweet Caroline. They got to do that. In addition to our many instrumentalists and the band that will be performing, a couple of student vocalists will also be featured. Noah Rexroad and Bella Cuellar. Donations will be accepted, so there's no charge to get in to watch the concert and to enjoy that. But Zach Ross and his group, they do a fantastic job. So you will be thoroughly entertained this coming Friday.
Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Center, Recycling Center, is hosting an electronic and shredding recycle day this Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. The center is located at 1761 East Main Street in Lancaster, and again, that is for those in the Lancaster, Fairfield County area.
And we forgot to start the program with Happy Earth Day, which today is Earth Day. In honor of Earth Day and Arbor Day, plan on taking your students to an impactful and engaging event in Rising Park. That's going to be this coming Saturday from 10 until noon p.m. in Lancaster.
Yes, sir. And the Waverly Firefighters Association hosts their annual fish fry coming up on Saturday, May the 3rd, from 10 a.m. until the fish is sold out. And this is a big deal down in Waverly every year.
Mm-hmm. Till there ain't no more fish.
Bring your tartar. No, I imagine they'll have tartar sauce.
They probably will.
So you don't have to worry about that.
And if they run out, they can just go over to the river and pull some carp out and go ahead and cook that up. Never had carp. Have you had?
No, I've just heard people talk about it.
Yeah.
The mud vein and all that jazz.
Harping about carp. Mm-hmm. Sports on the way in just a moment. But first, let's tell you about...
We're not doing a road report?
The road report.
And this is the one we don't want to miss today. Chillicothe Bridge Street construction work picks up this week. Starting tomorrow, left turns will be permitted from Bridge Street to River Trace Lane and Consumer Center Drive. Access to River Trace Lane from Consumer Center Drive will be restricted. Left turn lanes will be permitted from Bridge Street to River Trace Lane and Consumer Center Drive. At least one lane will be maintained in all directions of Bridge Street. So these left turns we're talking about, that's something you can't do now, but they're going to allow this starting tomorrow because of all of the construction work that's going to have things tied up.
All that sounded more confusing than driving through a roundabout.
Yeah. You'll see the signs.
Yes, just
follow the signs.
And yesterday was the first time I had driven through the business loop around Chillicothe with the new pattern where if you want to go to 35, you have to go over to what is southbound 23 and 35. And wasn't heavy traffic at the time I came through, so it wasn't all that difficult. But I could see if you were not driving 50 miles an hour, as we were encouraged to do by the State Patrol last week on our program, that it could be a problem. So make sure that you pay attention as you go through that area. We're done with the road report?
We're done.
Okay, sports is coming up in just a moment. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Nearly 50 years now, they've been taking care of these comfort positions in your home, business, and all around. Heating, cooling, and plumbing, they take care of it. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to their website, accuratehvac.com.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary.
Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Scioto Valley Dumpsters can handle all your dumpster needs, whether for your business or your residence. 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, it takes you to their Facebook page where you can see the latest happenings with Scioto Valley Dumpsters. In sports, we start with softball broadcast.
Yeah, Litter Media Radio brings you FAC softball between Hillsboro and Chillicothe this afternoon. Airtime at 4:50. Well, last night, Hillsboro hammered Chillicothe 18-0 in 5 innings to take a 1-game lead in the standings with the rematch tonight. The Lady Cavs need a win to draw even in the standings with 2 to play. A Hillsboro win clinches no worse than a share of the championship, which they won outright last year.
Things went awry in the third inning. I mean, they were down 7-0 going into the third, and then 11 runs scored, and they just had control problems. I think to load the bases, next thing you know, there's a hit, and that usually clears the bases. In scores from yesterday, we start with baseball. Chillicothe picked up a 5-4 win over Hillsboro there. Washington Courthouse over McLean, 7-0. Baseball, Unioto takes a 6-0 mark in that lead in the SVC over Zane Trace, both of them picking up wins yesterday. Southeastern defeated Huntington, Piketon over Paint Valley. That was in 8 innings. Mid-State League, Circleville surprises Bloom Carroll, 14-4. That's the first loss for the Bulldogs. Liberty Union gets past Fairfield Union. Mid-State League Cardinal, Fairfield Christian, Grove City Christian, Byrne Union, and Miller all victorious. This is continuing with baseball. Thank you. Waverly, Wheelersburg, Minford, your winners in the SOC 3. SOC 2, Sins Valley, and South Gallia picked up wins. Notre Dame and Green in SOC 1. Taze Valley gets past Pickerington North, 2-1 final there. Lancaster and Logan also wins in the OCC. TVC has Vinton County falling to Athens. Meigs and Waterford picked up wins. Lynchburg, Clay, Portsmouth, Ironton, Gallia Academy, and South Point all victorious. Softball for you, McLean over Washington, 19-3 in the FAC. Of course, there's that Hillsboro win over Chillicothe as well. Piketon still in first place of the SVC with a win over Paint Valley. Zane Trace takes Westfall 11-5. Zane Trace at 5-1 in the SVC. Unioto takes Adena in 5 innings. Huntington was down 7-6 entering the last at-bat. They come away with a walk-off win, 8-7. Bloom Carroll blasting Circleville. Liberty Union doing the same to Fairfield Union and Amanda Clear Creek over Hamilton Township. In the SOC, Waverly, Wheelersburg West wins, along with Sims Valley. Eastern, we don't know what happened with Western and Oak Hill in baseball and softball. Notre Dame and Clay picked up wins. Taze Valley, aren't they ranked in like the top 5 in the state? And
so was Lancaster.
And Lancaster is as well. But Taze Valley beat Lancaster last week. Lancaster was ranked 2nd in the state. Wellston over River Valley, Athens, Nelsonville, York, all picking up wins. Lynchburg, Clay, Fairfield, and Portsmouth with Coalgrove finishing out our long list of softball winners. On to tennis. Chillicothe a winner over Logan Elm, 4-1. Circleville defeated Miami Trace, Portsmouth play over Valley. And in boys volleyball, Ross Christian Academy a winner over Worthington Christian, and Chillicothe beat Patriot Prep 3-0. And should that lead us into teasing about what's coming up later this week?
We can. Thursday night, the Cavaliers will be hosting Whetstone, a team that Chillicothe beat earlier this year, although Whetstone did take a set from them. So that is Thursday night. The JV start at 5:30, so our airtime is going to be somewhere between 6:30 and 7 o'clock.
And I think the last time a Cavalier match was broadcast that I was involved with, speaking of the broadcast entity, that you and your wife did it. Was it 1994? The Final Four?
No. Tom Beard and I did a conference championship with the Lady Cavs at Zanesville.
Ah, the SEOAL.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that match.
Right.
All right.
The Reds, who had 24 runs, well, they should have saved some for last night. They lose to the Marlins by a score of 6-3. They're back at it again tonight. But the news was better for the Guardians as they beat the Pinstripes, the New York Yankees, by a score of 6-4. And the Yanks and the Guardians back at it again tonight in Cleveland.
I had a score alert last night as I was leaving work for the Reds and Miami Marlins. This was on my Sirius XM. I pushed the button, and it took me right to the Marlins broadcast. And they were talking about this kid that was going to be pitching last night and the start that he had. I didn't pay attention to how the catcher performed, but they said this kid's probably going to be something else too. So we'll see how it plays out for the Reds and Marlins in Miami.
I believe the young man that played for Liberty Union a few years ago that pitched them to the state tournament, I think he's still at the AA level for the Marlins franchise.
So he's in with the Marlins?
Yes,
okay.
I believe that's right.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, that's a look at sports. Coming up, this date in history we are dialed up for.
You just gave a happy birthday to it earlier from 1970.
All right, details next.
92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Litter Quality Propane.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down. Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Time now for this date in history, and I recall being in this would have been the fourth grade at this. No, I was in the third grade.
Okay. 1970s, the year.
Yes. So I would have been I'd have been in the second grade.
I don't know what year of school I was in. All I know, in 1970, the Reds went to the World Series and got beat by the Orioles in 5 games.
Well, I remember this because I got a green lunchbox, and the lunchbox had on it the Earth Day flag. So my mom was creating a tree hugger right there at the beginning.
Is your mom a hippie?
At the very start. She was one of those Eastern Kentucky hillbilly hippies.
Gotcha. In 1970, Earth Day is born, an event to increase public awareness of the world's environmental problems, is celebrated in the U.S. for the first time. Millions of Americans, including students from thousands of colleges and universities, participated in rallies, marches, and educational programs across the country. Now, Earth Day was the brainchild of Senator Gaylord Nelson of Wisconsin, a staunch environmentalist who hoped to provide unity to the grassroots environmental movement and increase ecological awareness. Earth Day started in this date of 1970.
I don't think Mom was a hippie, but I do remember my Uncle Joe talking about smoking corn silk when he was a kid.
Gotcha. I think every kid did that. My mom even talked about smoking corn silk when she was
right?
Saint Jane. Smoking corn silk as a young girl.
I just cannot imagine ingesting something like that. Yeah. All right. That's a look at today's program for you. We had an earlier special edition talking about the Pickaway County Veterans Association.
Veteran Service Office.
Okay.
We'll get a clip of that. Well, you can watch it if you missed it earlier on YouTube,
sure.
But we'll have a clip with Todd Huffman talking about what they do tomorrow.
And if you'd like to see our highlight package from yesterday's vigil for Larry Cox, that's available also on our YouTube channel as well.
And our most recent Markers of History is on the ball. Okay.
And what was that about?
Abram's Big House.
Because he couldn't remember yesterday.
Sounds like a...
glad you remembered.
Sounds like a throwdown somewhere.
And next Monday, we'll be talking about the library.
Okay.
Which one?
The main one.
Gotcha.
The main library.
The one that Carnegie built, right?
Well, yeah, with some of his money. Yes.
Paid to have built, I suppose. Yeah. All right, so all that's available on our YouTube channel, which you're watching right now. We appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening on Litter Media Radio. For Mike Smith and Mr. Hand 2, there he is, I'm Dan Ramey. We'll talk to you soon on Litter Media.